Break Panel Sports. I think you know what this is by now. Or if you don't, hi, I'm John, joined alongside Joel, and we've got
Hello.
some topics. There's Joel. There he is, back in the flesh.
Hi.
No Tyler from the Oakland Ballers this time. Go listen to that episode that we just posted about the old Oakland Ballers. We have a new minor league team, Joel. We are Oakland Ballers fans now.
Would you look at that? The
I don't.
Oakland Ball.
I have no merch. I have nothing, but that's just what we are. So
That seems like up your alley.
I'm not flying out there. I'm not going out there, but yeah, we're Oakland Ballers. We're also Chicago Cubs fans apparently because of Mr. Bowling, and definitely go check that one out as well. We got some good episodes back there. Also some great ones with Joel. We had the State of New York football a while ago, and we're going to talk about it a bit today. But first, Joel, how are we?
We're feeling all right,
All right.
feeling good. All right, all right, all right. We're feeling
Okay,
good,
okay, okay. I thought
I
it was about
think
to turn to break panel therapy for a minute when you said I'm all right. I'm like, whoa, Joel.
whoa. Well, seeing the current state of New York right now, I've been preaching about wanting to tank, and it's not gonna happen
It's not
anymore.
happening. It's not
It's
happening.
not happening.
So we're going to talk about today. We got Bill Belichick as well got fired today. We got some contenders pretenders. There's a lot of teams that are playing well, not playing well, but are playing well, but aren't really that good, and not playing that good, that aren't that good, or are that good. Whatever. We're going to talk about it. But we're going to start off with the pride of New Jersey, Mr. Italy himself, the Italian, the boot, Tomas DeVito, Tommy DeVito, that guy,
Oh my.
quarterback of the New York Giants. I mean, so us being Jersey guys, it's definitely very interesting to see the nation get unveiled the New Jersey Italian stereotype because he is the stereotype. I don't think anybody is
Yes,
not.
he is. I
He like
100%.
not even. I don't even. We saw his agent wear the fedora. We saw him with the striped suit, the pinstripe suit,
He looks like he was
basically.
straight out of Goodfellas.
Yeah,
Like
I saw the
he's straight out of the
the
movie.
funniest tweet I ever saw was that Tommy DeVito would have died 2 episodes into The Sopranos, and I'm like, that's just absolutely true. Mr. DeVito played against the Green Bay Packers the other night, Monday Night Football. 17-21, a touchdown being the game winner to Mr. Isaiah Hodgins, who has shown up this season. Congratulations, Isaiah Hodgins. You have shown up.
Oh my
Thanks, buddy.
god.
158 yards, and then played all right against the Patriots, 17-25. You beat New England, and you beat Washington as well. Congratulations, buddy. He's got some. They made some weird ESPN stats about him. The first rookie quarterback to have this passer rating with this many touchdowns, and yada yada yada. And first off, Joel, I want to get your general thought. I'll let you have the floor about the Giants' 3-game winning streak, Tommy DeVito, and what you think about him. And I've got some questions I have to ask you and obviously our audience as well.
Now, don't get me wrong. I would love for him to be the guy. Okay, who wouldn't want to find their guy? Any
Right.
team. Okay, obviously, I would love for him to be the guy. This is just screaming Jeremy Lin. I'm sorry, but this is just
I've
screaming Jeremy Lin.
I've
It's
heard
a
this.
it's a good run, okay? I'm not taking anything away from him. It's a good run. The whole if you're listening on audio, you can't see me, but this thing,
Yeah.
the whole
The hand maneuver, the
the hand
Italian hand
maneuver
maneuver,
that we've
the
been doing
emoji.
now, it's like sure, it's cool. It's a fun little story. Undrafted rookie. They're comparing him to Brock Purdy. Like, okay, it's it's cool, I guess. But I mean, I saw a take the other day that like once Daniel Jones comes back next year, because it's so obvious now they're not taking the quarterback. I just don't see that anymore. But once we never know. Once training camp comes around, the quarterback job should be up for grabs. Like it's just not going to get handed to Daniel Jones. Now you got to see what this Tommy DeVito kid is all about. See if he's legit or if, this is all just a big old fluke. I would love for him to be the guy. Represents New Jersey, represents, the whole Italian culture so well. Everyone loves to see this happen. Everyone loves these type of stories. He's okay. Football, what? He's all right.
He's okay.
What are we tripping about? He's okay. All right. The Giants have won 3 straight now. I I was listening to I was listening to Bart and Hahn like yesterday, and Tommy DeVito's agent, he was talking on like some podcast or whatever, and he said, keep in mind that when they were in college and they had like a senior bowl camp or whatever,
Yep.
it was between him, Trevor Lawrence, and someone else. I'm not exactly sure who it was, but Tommy DeVito won the MVP of that like the best quarterback of like that entire stance. And I was like, okay, that is such a cherry picked stat. Okay, like let's relax a little bit.
Yeah, the Senior Bowl isn't really a thing.
Let's
it's not
let's
really a
relax.
football game. It's like winning the
Okay,
MVP of the Pro Bowl.
let's relax a little bit. Okay, so like do I like him? Sure. Do I want him to be the guy? Yes. Obviously, I would love for him to be the guy. He seems cool. He seems nice. The Tommy Cutlets thing that they were selling cutlets. They're handing out cutlets to Giants fans. That's awesome. I love that stuff. But come on now. Okay. When we're talking about like, oh, he's the future. This is exactly what you had about New York fans like a few weeks ago. That it's like, oh my God, he's gonna be huge. He's gonna be this. I am not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm saying, okay, just take a beat. Okay, relax. We got the Eagles in 2 of the next like 3 weeks.
You play
all right,
twice, yeah.
Relax. I'm telling you right now. Right now, his stats are like what? He has like 9 touchdowns and like 3 interceptions or something like that. It's something around there.
8 touchdowns, 3 picks, a QBR of 26.
I'm telling you right now, when they face the Eagles, they're gonna get so humbled. They're gonna get so humbled right now. That's what I see.
You're seeing the light when I was talking about New York sports now. You see your fans, you see what's happening, you see how this is going. Now, it's very strange because again, it's the same people that were saying I want to lose every game that are now saying Tommy DeVito is the future. Tommy DeVito.
I still wanted to lose.
You want to lose, right?
I want to. I'm looking at guys I'm looking at guys in college that just won the Heisman. That I'm like, oh my God! Like, look at Jaden Daniels. Look at Caleb Williams. Even Drake May. Like, sure, why not? Those guys would be awesome here. And I'm like, DeVito. Like, he's okay. Are we really having conversations about DeVito right now? Like that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I think Brock Purdy completely ruined our quarterback evaluation brains. Because before this, we were thinking, a guy like Tommy, you're thinking, okay, this is a nice, fun flash in the pan, whatever. Maybe you would get a joke or two about, oh, this guy's the next Tom Brady, because we've seen so many quarterbacks do this. This isn't the first time we've maybe
Kurt
not
Warner.
Kurt Warner is that undrafted guy. But I'm saying we've seen quarterbacks have great runs like this. I mean, have just go on tears, great runs. I give you Case Keenum in the playoffs. There's been a lot of guys that just catch fire, have great situations, they get good matchups, and eventually, just like the great show that was the Jersey Shore, it crash and burns like a great fire. So, we've seen Case Keenum, we've seen Matt Flynn, we've seen Nick Foles, we've seen all these guys who clearly, I mean, Tommy DeVito does not have an impressive arm, really. His legs are good, he can move, but he's not a impressive quarterback by most stretches of the imagination in terms of, oh, this guy is just gifted. He's got kind of some sort of it factor if he can go in and win you a game, but I think for Giant fans, it's like, this is the best quarterback they've seen since Eli, right? Because the thing is, I'm sitting here in terms of just how a guy's playing. Yes, Daniel Jones played well in that playoff run, but this is like, but they did, even when Daniel Jones was playing that well, he wasn't getting the attention and the love that this guy is right now.
No, not at all.
Also because Tommy's just such a much more fun guy. Daniel Jones is probably the most boring human being you could ever see in any interview or anything. You got Tommy answering questions about it, saying it's good for the business, It's a Jersey Shore.
It's good for the business.
It's good for the business. He's just fun. I love Tommy DeVito. I'm a huge fan. He's great. I think he's a great story. Lynn's sanity is a little different because this is a quarterback and Jeremy Lynn's a basketball player, but there's a lot of similarities. And I don't see it lasting. They play the Saints, they play the Eagles, they play the Rams, they play the Eagles again. Tough sledding for Mr. DeVito. He's fun. Love when New Jersey gets this culture shock, but it's just all in your face right now. And
it's just like
it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's gonna crash and burn. We all know.
Oh my God. You know what's so funny too? I'm not gonna say where we live or anything like that, but in our area where we live in New Jersey, I believe he was like 10 miles away. I'm pretty sure he was like not too far away.
Where is Tommy from?
He's from oh my God, I don't even remember anymore. It's somewhere up north, I believe. But We're in
Cedar
Central, by the
Grove,
way.
like by Bosco. Like he was like a Don Bosco guy. Yeah,
Cedar Grove, that's where it was.
Cedar
But
Grove.
yeah, I
I'm a New
saw
Jersey
like
guy. I have never heard of Cedar Grove. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I've heard of it before. I mean I watched The Sopranos, but
Yeah, true. Good point.
I've seen like he was at like Hoboken, he's at bars, he's partying with
Yeah.
people. Like I never saw this from Daniel Jones. I
No.
never, and here's the thing too that I want to say really quickly. When Daniel Jones got hurt and you see Tommy DeVito stepping in, did this team change at all? Like the people on this team, the weapons
No.
on this team, the offensive line, they signed Justin Pugh, whatever. Did this team change at all? This is the same team. This is the same group of guys. And now they've won 3 straight. Clearly, I don't care what you say, Tommy DeVito is doing something that Daniel Jones wasn't. I don't know, like I don't know what it is. I don't even think it has to do with really just like play style or anything like that. It's more so just what he's saying in the locker room. Because these guys, when they're playing, they look like they actually give a damn when
Yeah.
they're playing. You know what I mean? They act like they care. In those first like few stretch of games, besides the Cardinals game where they came back, no one cared. Nobody wanted to be there. Everyone looked sluggish.
Right.
Everyone looked like they were just waiting for the game to end. Tommy DeVito, he's like, every single game, like, come on, we got this. We can keep going. We can do this. It's like there's something that he is saying that Daniel Jones is not, and I think that is a huge concern if Daniel Jones is supposedly supposed to be this franchise guy that the Giants have been pushing him to be, that everyone just knows he's not.
Right. It's this kind of leadership, right? Because guys play better when you want to play for the guy that's under center.
Right.
And Tommy has that kind of Joe Burrow type of swagger, that type of leadership where
right.
You trust the guy because he's calm. That's what's great about Tommy DeVito. He's just calm. He's just playing the game that he loves. And that's easy to say. It's just like I'm just playing my backyard football. There's those kind of leaders. Exactly. There's nothing to lose. There's those kind of leaders, and there's the leaders that are like the Tom Brady's, and Baker Mayfield's coming to mind for some reason because of what I saw him do against the Falcons, right? Those, Drew Brees, those fiery leaders. Wow, Baker Mayfield being in that trio is a wild statement for me. Those fiery leaders that'll just get you pumped up every time. And then there's the nothing burgers, the guys that can play ball, but they're not getting you fired up. They're not calm either. They're probably a little anxious. They're just shy. And that's Daniel Jones. And it doesn't really work out half the time. It kind of works out with Jalen Hurts because he's pretty calm now. But Daniel Jones is just boring. And it's not fun to play for Daniel Jones, whether he's good or whether he's not.
I know you say you didn't like the Jeremy Lin comparison. I feel like I just found a better one. Isn't he not Mike White?
I was more thinking Mike White. Yeah,
is he not Mike White?
He's Mike White. But Jets fans were calling for Mike White to be the starter. They were saying, Mike White's the future.
Like, do you remember last year, or was it 2 years ago? Like, that whole both. Mike White run, where he was winning games. He was actually having good winning drives. And I remember there was a play where he ran it himself into the end zone, and all of MetLife got up and got so freaking hyped than I have ever seen them do with Zach Wilson. Yeah. Like, it's like, what was Mike White doing that Zach Wilson wasn't doing? It's just it's very identical. I just hope it doesn't end in them giving him up, because you look where the Jets are at now. It's like, well, we really should have kept Mike White around here, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they're not winning the Super Bowl with Mike White, but I mean, you're
Mike competitive.
White. Yeah, you're playing competitive football. The Giants are playing competitive football. They are on the graphic. They're in the hunt for the playoffs.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that yesterday. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, if they didn't have the Eagles twice, it'd be possible. They're a game out technically, but I mean, the Bucs winning wasn't good for them and all that. But they played the Eagles twice, so like it's not.
The Eagles haven't been playing all that. Anything could happen. I'm just kidding. Now they're gonna get killed.
You never know. The Tommy DeVito magic. Come on, you can do whatever you want. It's possible. It's very possible the Giants make the playoffs, technically, mathematically, but I don't see them beating Jalen Hurts twice or even once, to be honest with you. I'm surprised it was scheduled this late. That's bad NFC scheduling to me. But
yeah, right. Back to back. Yeah, almost back to back.
Pretty much. It's Eagles, Rams, Eagles.
Yeah,
that's just a tough stretch. That's NFL scheduling. What are you doing? So I will make the last point about Tommy DeVito. So he's going to start next year at some point because Daniel Jones probably won't recover from his ACL by the time week 1 comes around, or he won't be ready or whatever. even if you are going to keep, they have to keep Daniel Jones on the roster at this point. I mean, he's Tommy DeVito, unless if the Giants do something wild and pick a quarterback or whatever, it's most likely going to be Tommy DeVito week 1. That's going to be interesting, and it'll be fun, I'm sure, for our New Jerseyites over there in East Rutherford, New Jersey, because you know where the Giants play, not New York. Not New York. Have the kid from Jersey. Have the kid from Jersey leading you. Why not? No, it's going to crash and burn. It's going to be terrible. And the Giants
it's probably going to crash and burn.
Not going to pick the quarterback that you so very much want, Joel. And I think that is that's tough. I will say enjoy the ride, but realize what's to come. Because
I thought the ride was going to be over on Monday.
I thought it was too. It almost was. It was a minute away.
I thought the ride was over.
It was a minute away from being over. That's what most Giants fans think. It's like, okay, this is where it ends. He's going to throw a pick. He's going to fail. He's going to do whatever.
Yeah, and now it's over.
No, he threw a touchdown.
It was fun while it lasted.
He threw a touchdown. We'll see what happens against the Saints. But one ride that we are pretty sure is over. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. I know we talked about this probably a month ago or so. That I think it was after the Colts game. And I was kind of saying it's time. It's time for Bill Belichick to move on from the New England Patriots. I personally think that for his legacy, he should probably move on from coaching, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So apparently, according to a report from Tom Curran, the New England Patriots are going to move on from Bill Belichick, and they made that decision after the Colts game in Germany, the ugly, ugly game where Bailey Zappi got put in on the final drive and threw a pick into 4 guys. And it seems that Bill Belichick is done. He pulled his classic line. People were asking him about the potential looming decision of moving on from Bill Belichick, and it seems like it's happening. And he said, I'm getting ready for Kansas City. I'm getting ready for Kansas City. And then I think it was one reporter that says, I understand you're getting ready for Kansas City, but do you have anything to say? He said, get ready for Kansas City. Is there a team that Bill Belichick hasn't said to a reporter, we're moving on to, or I'm getting ready for team blank? I think Kansas City, I think this is it. I think he finished the collection of teams that he's getting ready for at this point. So, Joel, it was time. Yeah. Here it was. And next season, it's time.
It's just it's how do I feel bad for a New England Patriot? Like, Bill Belichick, because
oh, this isn't a pity party. It's just what had to happen. The Patriots.
It's just, don't get me wrong. I 100% agree that the game is changing beyond Bill Belichick. It's just everyone is looking for the new, younger head coach. I think a great example of this is Mike McDaniels. Everyone's looking. They want the young guy. They want someone that could have a bit of an offensive mind. And Bill Belichick is just not that anymore. The game has changed. Look, first of all, you look at some of the weapons on this team overall. What happened to Juju Smith-Schuster? You look at Hunter Henry. You're looking at a lot of these guys. Yeah, they're okay. They're fine, but on this team, with this system, this maybe would have been good in 2004.
Yeah.
Maybe. But at that point, when you see that 2 quarterbacks are starting, simultaneously, week in, week out, it's just, it's him. It's him. It's him. The season's done. It's over. I'm sorry, but it's just done. You're at this point, I think Bill Belichick is being used as the scapegoat for this horrible team. Now, it is what it is.
I mean, he's the one that built it. He's the general manager.
Oh, no, I understand that. It's just, I'm looking at some of these decisions that they've made, drafting Mac Jones, who, first of all, I don't know, because if Mac Jones was drafted to the 49ers at 3, I wonder if we're still talking about Mac Jones how we are right now. I wonder if we are.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
It was undoubtedly, in terms of just pure talent, much better as a prospect than Brock Purdy was. Brock Purdy wasn't, I watched the guy at Iowa State, much tougher system to play in because you're not as much talent around you as Mac Jones did have at Alabama, but it would have been a great transition. That is interesting. And he would have been sitting under Jimmy G for a bit, which is weird.
But that's just it. Because at that point, who would the Patriots have gotten? Justin Fields? Would they have gotten, who right?
Trey
like
Lance,
who would,
maybe? However, maybe. I forget the draft order that year too.
I think it's between those 2 guys, Trey Lance and Justin Fields. But
Yeah.
I just feel like they chose a guy that they felt like, you don't got to be great, but we feel like you can know the system. And it's a debunked system now. It's just
Right.
not relevant. Now, I'm not saying Mac Jones is a good quarterback or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, what did you expect from him?
Yeah.
He's not Mac Jones is not someone that will elevate this team. It's just not. It's what, his second year in the league? Is it a second or third? It's his third, right?
He was drafted in 2021, so yeah.
He's already
He's out
is
the
there
door. He's
any
done.
way that he stays on this team next
No,
year?
no, they're cleaning
Come
house. I
on.
mean, if they're
He's
getting rid of
done.
Belichick, they are cleaning house. They are putting in something brand new. I can't see the Patriots getting rid of Bill Belichick, parting ways with him. And I'm assuming they're not going to keep him in the building in any shape or form. He's going to go find a new coaching job. I don't see why. Some people were saying that they're just going to stay like in house and promote somebody or whatever. No, if you're getting rid of Bill, you have to change everything at this point. And to me, and Joel, people were kind of talking about Bill Belichick's legacy, right? Talking about what he is without Brady, how he never really was able to get anything going without Brady, and all of that. And to me, I wasn't really buying all of that. There was a whole situation where he was
No,
trying to
neither am
push
I.
Brady out for Jimmy G, and people were talking about that now. But I don't want to sit here, and I think this is what's getting interesting, because when Brady was winning all those Super Bowls and Belichick was winning all the Super Bowls, because they did both do it, everybody was saying these are the greatest coach. This is the greatest coach of all time, no doubt about it. Can never come into question. Doesn't matter what happens after. And now that it's ending this way, with, I guess, they're parting ways, but he's basically getting fired. People were saying, I guess, in a certain light, they're not viewing Bill Belichick as strongly as they used to. And I don't want to discount his greatness as a coach in the National Football League. Right? He's still an effective coach. I don't know who hires him just because of his age and where his football mind is at, but he's still the greatest head coach of all time in terms of
Mhm.
just resume. I mean, he also won as a defensive coordinator. I mean, it worked. Sometimes the game gets past you. I mean, Vince Lombardi wouldn't win in today's NFL. Tom Landry wasn't winning in today's NFL. I mean, if you let them kind of develop the minds for it, then yeah. But sometimes the game just gets past you. And Bill Belichick, again, still the greatest, but the game passed him. And the roster
One of the
also, when you win all the Super Bowls, one more thing. When you win all the Super Bowls, your roster's not going to be good. Simple. It's just this is
It's
how
very
it works.
simple. When I'm looking at like the bigger picture as far as like, post Bill, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think it matters who they hire. I really don't think it matters, because at that it's not going to matter unless you get weapons in here, right? But you look at some of like their draft assets and some of the weapons that they kind of do have, right? How badly do you think that they would want Caleb Williams? Because I see a
Yeah.
scenario where, keep in mind, they're not the worst team in the league. Carolina, or I guess technically Chicago, has that number one pick because Carolina is so bad.
And it's a
If I'm
two-game league.
Chicago, if I'm Chicago and I'm seeing what's going on in New England, I'm saying, listen, do you want Caleb Williams? Okay, here's what I want. I want your next 3 first-round picks. That's including the number 2. I
Yep.
want second-round picks. I want it. And you think it's an overpriced? It's like, listen, do you want your guy, or do you want to settle for a Drake May? What do you want? What do you want to
Right.
do?
Right.
What do you like? Seriously, what do you want to do?
And if you're
Like,
the
okay,
Patriots, do you have a choice at this point?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
You have to do
right now,
something.
you look at that, but it's gonna be another Carolina situation. We thought Bryce Young
Right.
was gonna be one of the best young quarterbacks we see, and now it's like this team has won one game. They look bad. He has Adam Thielen and no one else. That's it.
Yep.
As he has Adam Thielen, and that is it.
Yep.
And this team is terrible, and they don't have a first round pick. And it's like, do the Patriots want to be in the same situation as the Panthers are right now?
Yep. And by the way, David Tepper is turning out to be one of the worst owners in the entire NFL.
Oh my God.
I put so much of this on the owner. I want to coach for 20 to 30 years. It's not how football. You want Bill Belichick.
And
Go
you
hire
can't
him.
do that if you fire them after 2 or 1.
You getting a coach for more than 10 years is like
Rare.
impossible. How many coaches in the NFL now that Bill's gone? I don't think there's any besides Pete Carroll, maybe. But Pete, yeah, just basically just Pete, and I can't really think of much else that have been on the same team for over 10 years. This guy wants 20 to
Harbaugh.
30. Yeah, Harbaugh. I mean, you can count them on your
There's
left
not much
hand.
to list.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, there's guys that have done it. It's happened. It's possible, but
It's rare.
you just don't build teams that way anymore. It's just not. Coaches change a lot more now too. The leashes are shorter. So yeah, the Panthers stink. I think they're going to continue to stink, and they're wasting a number one pick. They should take this one and trade the heck out of it. If they had it, oh wait, Chicago has it because you need a receiver. You traded him. I didn't understand it at the time for Carolina. They needed a quarterback bad, but they could have just kept a vet, kept building this team. But no, you thought Bryce Young was the truth. Did any of us think Bryce Young was that good? When you get an undersized quarterback, I know we're just talking about Carolina, but when you get an undersized quarterback, you got to have something in place. It is what it is.
Right.
But now New England, they have to go get a quarterback. They have to do something. And again, same situation. You're going to have Robert Kraft, who's, again, probably past the times are passing him as well. And I guess, yeah, they'll probably trade up. I mean, having the number 2 overall pick is good power because if Chicago can still get talent at number 2 and get a bunch of draft picks for the number 1, Chicago has a chance to do something really special in this draft.
They do.
Something really awesome. And I think Justin Fields has been playing solid enough. I think the thing about Chicago, I don't think so either. I think the thing about Chicago though is no matter what they do, I think it's a good decision.
Yeah, it's a great decision. I mean, they're in a very good position right now.
Let's say you take a different player at 1, right? Although if you're going to draft, I think unless if you're taking Caleb Williams, you are trading that pick. Absolutely. You take Caleb Williams, okay, you get a great prospect, and then you can draft somebody at 5. They can do a lot with these picks, and I don't see a way they mess it up unless if the guy they get at 5 is just awful. But it's a loaded class, so I think we should be good. So yeah, New England, pour them. They'll figure it out. Maybe not. Maybe they will. So Bill Belichick out. All these teams could be in the playoffs here on Break Panel Sports. So Joel, we've got some contenders in this playoff picture. We've got some pretenders in this playoff picture. You never know who's really that good of a team. Some teams have easy schedules, but they're actually good. Some teams have tough schedules, but they're actually bad. You really never know. So let's get straight into it. I've got a team that I do find really interesting, a team that we have liked for so long, and we've said every good thing about here on Break Panel Sports. And Joel, the Detroit Lions, are they contenders or pretenders?
I'm still rocking with contenders. I'm sorry.
Even in the San Francisco Invitational.
Yes, I'm still rocking with. I am still rocking with the Lions as contenders. Listen, the playoffs are a completely different beast that I think the Lions are set up well for. They got good weapons. They got good young weapons. Now, yes, in like the past 4 weeks, they have not been playing that great.
Their secondary has been awful.
Their second, oh my god, like their defense. I don't want to say it's been terrible. I feel like there's been worse defenses.
No, it's been terrible.
They look sluggish.
Yeah,
they just look sluggish. They don't look like they care. They look like the Giants did in week 1.
Pretty much.
That's really all I'm looking at. And also, I mean, looking at Jared Goff, we were praising this man in like the first half of the season. I want to say this has happened like since the bye week. Hasn't really been doing all that great. Not
since
really.
The interception streak where we said, "Oh my goodness, he might break the record," and then he didn't, or whatever it was. And then once he threw that pick, it all went downhill.
Most completions without an interception.
Yeah, most completions without an interception. And since then, downhill for Jared Goff. The streak was what was keeping him alive. That was the juju that was keeping him going. I think that they're still contenders. Again, in the San Francisco Invitational, it's tough, and with that secondary, I don't know what to do, but I'm not going to sit here and act like, let's say they get the 3 seed, they play Minnesota. I'm not going to sit here and act like Minnesota is going to win that game, or Green Bay, or the Giants, or whoever. They're going to win a playoff game. I think that they'll win in the first round. Now, if they they'll get a draw against Dallas or San Francisco. That's not going to be easy. That's where I start to think, okay, what's going to happen? They'll get, they wouldn't get San Francisco probably unless if, things happen. But just however way the cookie will crumble, right? It just doesn't. I just don't see them losing in the first round of the playoffs with this team. So I think that they've still got the talent. They've still got great weapons. Jared Goff will figure it out. They got some time left. They got Denver coming up, which will be a tough one. I think that's their get right game. That's where we will really find out who the Detroit Lions are. against Denver. And we'll find out who the Denver Broncos are, and that's where I'm going next. The Denver Broncos, 1-5. Now they're all the way back. They've been surging back. They were a game out of the AFC West, Joel. Russell Wilson said we're going to turn this thing around. They have, but fluke, contenders, pretenders, what do we got?
They're absolutely contenders. I'm sorry. This is the hottest team in football right now. This is 100% the hottest team in football right now.
Yes.
I look at the Denver Broncos. I see what Russell Wilson has looked like for this team this year compared to last year. This isn't Denver Broncos Russ. This is Seattle Prime Russ that I've been seeing these past couple weeks. This is exactly what I've been seeing. Now, a lot of these weapons, Jerry Jeudy, have been questionable.
Yep.
They've been pretty questionable. I'm not going to lie to you. But I look at what this team has juice. This team actually has an engine that hasn't stopped working since that 1-5 has happened. You know, we were looking at the Denver Broncos like, oh man, like they're probably looking at their top pick and it's gonna be this and then a rebuild, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, hold on now. They do like one little tiny move here and there, and then all of a sudden it's like they're a couple games away from like actually making the playoffs. And not to mention in their division right now, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and no one really talked about that.
Yeah.
Like they didn't just beat them; they made them look ass. Like they made them look really bad.
They looked
the
really
Kansas
bad,
City
yeah.
Chiefs. It was. Oh my
Offensively,
God.
the Denver Broncos have stepped up. That's been their pride and joy. That's what we've been waiting for from Denver. Not really their offense, but how good that defense is going to be.
Yeah.
Also, when you look at the AFC bubble, the Steelers play the Colts. One of those teams are going to lose. So you're going to see a playoff spot open up just next week at some point for either it'll be either the Texans or the Broncos or even Cincinnati, depending on what they do and how this all shapes up. So I think I agree. Broncos got to be contenders. A team that I think is a pretender, though, I'll just go off the bat and say it, the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think that they have the talent. I mean, they don't have the talent at receiver. I know it's like saying that the Patriots back in the day weren't the Patriots, but those teams didn't just – I just see that they're so thin at too many positions for me to say, yes, they're going to be great. This team is imploding right now. I see them losing the division. At this point, I mean, the schedule is the schedule, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots go beat them for Bill next week, but you never know what's going to happen. Right? The Kansas City Chiefs defensively, they're solid, but there's something just feels off this year about Kansas City, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I think right now they're pretenders.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I'm going with contenders.
That's fine.
The reason why
the
I'm
Chiefs,
going
it's not a tough take to say that.
Well,
they're
the thing is, like, okay, I understand we could talk about the jokes of Kadarius Toney being a whole foot offside.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was
it was
funny.
pretty funny though. Yeah, it was pretty rough.
But I'm looking at this team. They got good weapons. They got a young rookie talent in Rashee Rice that no one's really talking about this year. I think he's pretty good. And you're looking at their running game with Jerick McKinnon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They've shown a little bit of flashes here and there. Isaiah Pacheco.
You got to see him get healthy.
He has to get healthy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Travis Kelce's still here. And they still got Taylor Swift. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
Taylor's here.
I'm looking at this team. I just find it so hard to believe that they can't at least make the AFC Championship game. I just don't see it. I don't see how that happen. Even Buffalo, you look at Buffalo, that they looked really good last week. Yep. They beat them by 3 points. It was a one-score game.
It was a close game, yeah. And then
it came all the way down to the end.
They could have won that game if it wasn't for Kadarius Toney, yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I'm looking at the Chiefs and I'm saying, listen, yeah, they've had a couple bad stretches, but every championship team doesn't have the most perfect season ever. Okay. Right. It just there's some issue, something happened, not everyone could be, the 70s Dolphins. Okay. Not everyone could be that. All righty. We're going to have some issues. It's going to happen. We expect them. We prepare for them. And the Chiefs, they've shown time and time again that they are prepared for these situations. They don't need the top-rated wide receiver to be their guy. I think they'll be okay. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction to call them pretenders at this point.
Well, this is all about overreacting, and I'm going to do it. I think the fan base is overreacting as well, the Dallas Cowboys. However, I think that they're contenders. This is the best Dallas Cowboys team that we've seen in a while. Dak Prescott is playing like an MVP. You've got great weapons. You've got much better weapon depth than Kansas City and a lot of other teams in the league have. I had to go to the NFC for a bit. They just beat Philadelphia. They just stopped Philadelphia, although I don't see Philadelphia falling off for that long. But Dallas, the defense is great. If this team has Javon Diggs, come on. I think Dallas is a contender in the NFC. In the NFC East, they've got to go win that division if they can. But even if they get in as a wild card team, I think that they're still up. That they're up there no matter what. The fact that an NFC East team is going to have to play in the first, going to play a non-home playoff game to start things off and play like Tampa, that's going to be fun. But I've got Dallas right up there with everybody.
Once again, I just 100% pretenders. Okay,
You think so?
I am telling you right now, 100% pretenders. I'm looking at this Dallas team right now. Don't get me wrong. Sure, yeah, CeeDee Lamb's amazing. Sure, yeah, Dak, give him MVP. Why not? Give him MVP. I don't care. Deron Bland. Oh yeah, he has the NFL record. This is the Dallas Cowboys that we are talking about here.
No, it's true.
Unless they could win in January, I don't care. I don't care what they do. I don't care. They could break all the records in the world. This is the same Dallas Cowboys team that I've been watching for like the past 8 years. I don't care who's on this team. I don't care who their weapons are. I don't care if Mike McCarthy looks like a genius. I don't care what happens with this defense and how many records that they break. I don't care if Micah Parsons wins Defensive Player of the Year. This is the Dallas Cowboys. They are going to disappoint. What is bound to happen, what is about to happen, it will happen. I promise you right now. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. We have seen this time and time again, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it because it's ridiculous to me that people look at the Dallas Cowboys, and it all started with Dak being like, oh, they could be MVP. He could do it. That's if he wins MVP, if they had Trayvon Diggs, if Micah Parsons did that, if there's so many ifs and ands or buts about it. I'm sorry. Until I see this team come out of the second round and look competitive, I'm not taking them seriously at all.
I just saw them beat the reigning NFC champion. However, here's my thing about the NFC. I will say that none of this matters because the San Francisco 49ers are going to stomp everybody out. And I think if Dallas makes the NFC Championship game, loses San Francisco, I think that's fine. That's a fine season for them. I know that franchise expects Super Bowl or bust, but if they make the NFC Championship, lose San Francisco, I wouldn't count that as a what happens, what will go wrong will always go wrong, and all of that. I think that's a good season because you played the best team in the NFL that's probably going to go win the Super Bowl against the Baltimore Ravens, right? That's just what's going to happen. But yeah, it's hard to argue against the great and gaudy history that is the Dallas Cowboys playoff success. But
yeah.
I mean, they beat Tampa. They beat whoever the 7th seed is going to be. They're going to get to the second round. It's just a matter of would they beat Philly again? Would they beat Detroit? Would they beat San Francisco if they had to play them in the second round? Depending on how the NFC standings go. It looks like the Eagles are going to go and come out on top. But I mean, yeah, sure. The Cowboys are the Cowboys, but I mean, CeeDee's way better than Dez ever was. I'm just saying that for my own reasons. This is the best Cowboys team we've seen in a while. So I want to see where they go. I want to see what happens. I like this team. They're a good football team. Joel, I think if they had any other jersey on, you'd be like, I love this team. They're great. But because they got the star on the helmet, we're all, expecting failure. And failure probably will.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. And the other team that I do this for, the Miami Dolphins, Joel, where do you have them?
Well, here's the thing, and I don't know if I told you this or not, actually. This was like back in September, I want to say.
Yep.
So right before the Miami Dolphins played the Denver Broncos, where they had that record game and they scored like 70 points or whatever, I just casually was like, let me put $20 on the Miami Dolphins to win the Super Bowl. Why not? Let me just see what happened, right?
Get that banner refund.
If that way, well, I can't cash out now. It's been months. I can't cash out. It's it's done.
They got you then.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing, right? Like, I think if I win like $300 or something like that. I don't know, but
it was good odds at that point. Yeah, or bad odds
at that point. I'm looking at Miami. Monday scared me seeing Tyreek Hill. Okay, that scared me because he is the Miami Dolphins. Okay, this is the first receiver that we have seen in a while that we're actually putting him in contention for MVP. Okay. Yep. Something that has been labeled as a quarterback award. We're not talking about Tua. We're talking about Tyreek. Everyone realizes that Tyreek is a top dog in Miami. Everyone knows this. And if he goes down, this is a
They go
pretender team.
down. Yeah.
This is a pretender team. I mean, I hate to say it, but even just some of the guys that they have acquired. I saw Bradley Chubb on a play when Will Levis was like running. It was like a 4-yard run, nothing crazy, but he gets mad. He's throwing his
Yeah.
helmet
Yeah.
and he's just getting flagged. First down. It's like, does this team, are you not thinking? Is there something wrong that you're just like not thinking in the moment? That do you not realize that this is a team that could actually contend for a title and you're just pulling off the same mistakes that any, 2-8 team would do? It's just like ridiculous to me that at this point in the year, we're talking about y'all not looking professional.
Yeah. Florida as a state is familiar with this football wise. Remember, I don't know if you ever saw the play where Florida was playing LSU. They could have beat them, but one of their players threw another player's cleat for some reason, and it got a 15-yard penalty, field goal. Florida could have won that game. It was very fun.
I love those. Those are so funny.
They're the best. If you've never seen that play, go do it. This is also a defense that loses Jalen Phillips for the rest of the year. They've lost him, but they haven't looked the same without him. I do see this as a pretender team as well. We're going to agree for once. Because also I have a rule of thumb. If your receiver outshines your quarterback, you have zero chance of winning the Super Bowl. There's no chance. Superstar receivers don't work because you're dependent on them. We saw last night or the other night or whatever. The days go by. The other night, Tyreek Hill goes down. This offense doesn't know what to do with themselves. Even though you have Jalen Waddle, even though you have a solid tight end room, it's just not possible. So when you have an offense built around a superstar receiver, you're going to win a lot of games. You're going to play really well, but you're not going to win the Super Bowl. You're just not. It's not.
I will say that Monday night game, even with Tyreek Hill gone out, whatever, like he came back. I get it.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about this as like, oh wow, what a win for Tennessee. I'm looking at this like, how did Miami lose this game? Even when Tyreek Hill was off the field, I'm like, okay, well, they still got Waddle, they still got these guys. Like, yeah, they'll be fine. And it's like, are you serious right now? There's no way you're about to blow this. There's no way you're about to screw this
They'll
up.
find a way.
They found a way, and it's Miami's one of those teams where it's like they're so heavily focused on their offense that they just hope that the team that they're facing can't keep up with them. And now with Tyreek Hill being out, temporarily, it was like they came back.
What?
Tennessee's up now. And what I saw that stat, what did it say that like a team that was down 14 with 3 minutes to go, like
it was like 500 something and or whatever. Yeah.
And now it's happened.
It's finally happened. We finally got the random ESPN stat scenario. We did it.
The random ESPN. I'm telling you, man.
We're the best.
But no, I view Miami as pretenders. I really gotta refund that. I really gotta cash out on that.
Yeah,
20.
cash
I don't
out.
know if I can.
If I still have good odds. You might be able to get most of your money back. I mean,
I gotta let it ride though. I gotta let it ride.
No, you don't. You really don't.
It's $20. I don't know.
I guess. Maybe it would be better spent on the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to sit here and say that they're contenders, and I'm not even going to let you talk. Joel, this will do it for the episode of Break Panel Sports. Unless you have any other team that sticks out to you.
Wow. Okay. No. Let's put it like that.
That's it. It's going to be a dogfight in the AFC. I'm just going to run down Browns, pretenders, because you have no quarterback. Colts, I like you. And the rest, you'll figure it out eventually. But Joel, anything else left to add to this wild slate of NFL discussion that we had, of course, as always?
Just I'm probably gonna be watching Goodfellas with the amount of
yeah
with the Tommy DeVito luck charm that we've been having.
Is it time to rewatch The Sopranos? Maybe.
Yeah.
It's time. It's been a while.
If that's streaming anywhere, I guarantee you it's on the top list right now for a lot of New Jersey.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it always is. Probably never left the number one spot. It's just further there. I actually was. My dad lent me all the Godfather movies, and that was like 2 years ago, and I never watched them. So it might be
I've seen the first one, and then I just never watched. I heard the second one's amazing. I've just never seen the second one. I've seen the first one though.
Okay. I might have to finally go do that. Although he also let me borrow Lord of the Rings, and to be honest, I kind of want to watch that first. So we'll go there. Oh, great stuff. But maybe I'll have watched one of the Godfather movies, but we're basically watching it on an NFL field with Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants. But that'll do it for this episode of Break Panel Sports. I've been John, joined alongside Joel. Everybody do the hand thing for me one time, okay? Please don't. It's awful. It's cringe. But
Yeah.
that'll do it for this episode of Break Panel Sports. Thank you so much for watching, listening, whatever you're doing right now. Have a good one, and we will see you another time.